I'm Fox, any pronouns. Welcome back to another treat or terror, my animated lumps of clay. Today we're discussing a movie based on Jewish folklore with the Golem, how he came into the world. Of the movies we've discussed so far, this might be one of the more well-known outside of silent cinema appreciation circles. If you remember last year's Treat or Terror, The Simpsons even parodied it. Poorly. First, let's talk about the movies that came before, because yes, this is the third in a trilogy. We don't actually have the previous two films, The Golem and The Golem and the Dancing Girl, from 1915 and 17 respectively. All that survives are a few fragments of the original, and then stills from the sequel. Rather unfortunate, but at least we have some ideas of what these two films were about. Thankfully, we have 1920's The Golem, how he came into the world, in full. It was directed and written by the same person who did the others, Paul Regnier, who you might remember from The Student of Prague. He also stars as the Golem itself, doing a spectacular job in the role. We open on the Jewish ghetto in Prague during the 1600s. Rabbi Lau reads the stars, predicting calamity for his people, which is proven correct when a scribe delivers a decree the very next day from the Holy Roman Emperor, saying that the Jews must leave the city. In preparation, Rabbi Lau works on animating the Golem through the powers of Astaroth and the alignment of celestial bodies. The squire, Florian, doesn't care much about the Jewish people's plight, but he does take notice of how hot the rabbi's daughter is. Possibly why he agrees to remind the emperor of how valuable Lau has been to him previously, and to request an audience with him. Thankfully, the emperor agrees, inviting Lau to the Rose Festival. Overjoyed, Rabbi Lau works hard on his creation. Meanwhile, Florian and his daughter, Mirjam, work hard in inventing tantric sex. As they get frisky, the rabbi and his assistant get busy, hauling the finished golem around so Rabbi Lau can conjure forth the necessary word of life from Astaroth. The hour has come, the rabbi declares, before pulling his apprentice along. In a fantastical sequence, we see the ritual that brings forth the word he needs. The effects are phenomenal, really showing off how far cinema had come at this time. It's also very stylized, very experimental, really showcasing the talents of those involved. Just look at this amazing shot where we finally get the life-giving word. Just breathtaking cinematics. Rabbi Lau writes the word on a roll of paper that he places inside the Golem's amulet, placed upon its breast. The Golem now has life. It takes in its surroundings carefully, ultimately obeying the rabbi without question. The Jewish people now have their protector. The Golem chops wood, draws water from the well, even goes to the market. He's adorable with this basket, by the way. I love the juxtaposition between the Golem casually strolling with the basket, while everyone else in the ghetto freaks out and runs away. I'd like to point out that the Golem does not threaten anyone, but the apprentice kinda sorta does. It's very ominous wording, at least. Also, damn, is he bad at giving the Golem orders. Together, Rabbi Lau and the Golem go to the Rose Festival. Florian takes the opportunity to sneak over to the ghetto for a bit of a tryst. Everyone is unsure of the Golem at first, much like the Jewish people. After a bit of demonstration of the rabbi's control of it, however, the emperor is fascinated, amused, signaling to his people that it's nothing to fear. They crowd around it. A woman gifts him a flower. His expression tugs at my heart here. Ultimately, they do shirk away when he tries to pet the gifter, but otherwise do not hassle him. The emperor wants a magic show, to be further entertained, so the rabbi decides to show images of his forefathers and what they've had to endure. Which gets interrupted by laughter from apathetic court members, including the emperor himself. Displeased, the magics Rabbi Lau is using cause a calamity. The building shakes and begins to collapse. Only the Golem with his might can save them all. The emperor graciously pardons the Jews for their crime of being Jewish and allows them to stay. Rabbi Lau returns to the ghetto, to his people, with the good news. The Golem is getting a little feisty, however, not wanting to obey the rabbi any longer, not wanting to have his amulet removed and return to lifeless clay. The rabbi barely manages to get it off of him. He's about to destroy the Golem, just in case. His apprentice informs that the community elders want to take him to the temple in gratitude, so they all leave. Miriam, meanwhile, is up in her room with her lover. They have a plan for him to sneak out as soon as everyone is at temple. However, their apprentice stays behind, intent on waiting for her. When he hears their whispering, he flies into a rage, reanimating the golem and ordering him to chase the squire away. Things quickly escalate. There's a fierce struggle, where Florian attempts to protect Miriam, but is ultimately overpowered. The apprentice, cowardly bastard he is, doesn't care that Miriam was harmed, and he did nothing to stop it. She pushes past him to find her lover. They're atop the rabbi's home. The golem emerges in an intimidating shot, and then tosses Florian to his demise. He doesn't stop there, taking Miriam. Finally, the apprentice decides to do something, again fueled by jealousy, but the golem easily swats him away, setting fire to the rabbi's home. The golem drags Miriam around like a sack of potatoes by her braids, while the town races to do something about the quickly spreading flames. Again, the rabbi uses his magic, saving his people in a new way. Then he races to Miriam's side, finding her after the golem laid her down a moment. He leaves her with the apprentice to go find the golem and stop him once and for all. Miriam is miserable, traumatized, allowing the apprentice to hold and comfort her after he promises to keep Florian a secret. Their love and his death. The golem has reached the gate separating the ghetto from the Gentiles. He easily breaks it open. The children they have been playing stop, cowering and running away from the fearsome creature. He, meanwhile, marvels at the beauty around him. He picks up a small child that offers him an apple. It's a beautiful moment of friendship, until the child unwittingly plucks the amulet off, killing the golem. The children all gather around his remains in joy, playing around and on top of him. It's a poignant ending. The protector of the Jews, unwittingly stopped by the children of the people they need to be protected from. They run away as the Jewish people rush forward with a similar fear they first faced the golem with. They carry the clay corpse away, back into the ghetto, closing the gate behind them. I adored this movie. Wegner was perfect as the golem, breathing his own life into the role. The cinematography is just top-notch. Experimental, beautiful, engaging, not just static. I also appreciate that this movie really wove in small, quick scenes amongst the longer ones well, good at breaking things up and keeping a good pace. Many movies of this age hadn't quite grasped that yet. This is a fantastic foray into the burgeoning German expressionism. The stark silhouettes, the pronounced shadows, the exaggerated, dreamlike realism all showcase the strength of the genre. I am sad that we don't have the first two of the trilogy, but I am elated that this has survived over 100 years. All throughout the film is a sense of dread, of this impending calamity like the rabbi forewarns of. It shows the Jewish prosecution, brings to life the pains of folklore of the people, showing their plight to the audience who otherwise might not know or care about it. To this day, it's sadly relevant, as anti-Semitism has certainly not stopped. Though I would like to take a moment to give the disclaimer that this does not erase Israel's reprehensible genocide against the Palestinian people. When I speak about current-day anti-Semitism, I do not mean people rightfully upset at Zionists and rallying against them. Back on track. Like I said before, this is one of the more well-known silent horror movies. Unlike many that we've previously discussed and will discuss later this month, it does have a DVD release. It definitely deserves the treatment. If you want more information on the film, or the Golem mythology in general, I do have 2 videos to recommend. The Dark Corners review overview of the trilogy and its history, and The Golem and the Jewish Superhero by Jacob Geller, who looks even broader into the Golem's mythology. Both are excellent watches. Alright, that's it for now, Screamers. I'll see you for the 12th day of Treat or Terror tomorrow. Thanks for joining my lucid screaming. Nope, the 11th day. I can't count.